I'm so ripped right now.
I'm ripped too.
So ripped.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am live streaming from my beautiful Santa Monica bungalow. Just kidding, we're actually in a little condo and I'm just chilling. But I wanted to do a video on Adderall addiction because a lot of people ask me about this. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me in the last year after I put out my video about my Adderall story. I think I get at least 2 messages a day sometimes, and sometimes I get like 5. Like I'll get like so many messages, whether it's on LinkedIn or it's on Facebook or it's on Instagram. People reach out to me all over asking about tips and tricks to overcome an Adderall addiction. So I wanted to go on live and answer some questions if anybody's curious about this, because I know that a lot of you guys have subscribed to me to learn more about this topic, and I just want to be able to be as helpful as I can. I have a really, really bad connection. Hey, Dustin! I have a terrible connection, so if I'm delayed, I'm sorry, it's not my ADD. So, I don't know why I have such bad connections in California, but it's like supposed to be the Wi-Fi capital of the world. But back to the subject of ADD. A lot of people have messaged me asking for tips for people who are just going off medication now, ways that they can start feeling better right away. So I wanted to kind of start there. So if anybody in this room has seen my lives, my other videos, hey Cruz, yeah, it's definitely worth getting off. So if any of you guys have seen my story, you guys know that I was on Adderall for 10 years. I felt terrible all the time. Get very depressed, yeah. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of a background just in case. Hi, Rehab Ijaz. Aw. So just so you guys know, I was diagnosed as ADD, not ADHD, but the two are very similar. They call it a learning disability or a chemical imbalance, and for some reason, some of us are ADD and other people are ADHD. ADHD is like, has hyperactivity, and ADD is just attention deficit disorder, so just like ditzy and quiet, I guess. It's slow, maybe, that's me. So I'm ADD, and growing up from childhood, I was just not interested in school. As I've said in my other videos, I was just bored easily, and I would draw. I like to learn on my own. I like to teach myself things. I loved using the computer from a really young age, and I just liked kind of learning on my own. Once somebody would start teaching me, if they weren't entertaining, my eyes would gloss over, and I would feel like I needed to go to sleep. So I have something, but I don't exactly know what it is, but everybody always considered it ADD. Well, thank you. So I, growing up, loved art. I didn't play sports. I didn't do anything that really challenged myself. I never really stepped out of my comfort zone. My parents were artists, so they kind of inspired me to do art as well. So I really exercised that part of my brain. And when I was in school, learning in the more traditional way, it just didn't work for me. I think I would have benefited from some sort of special school for people that are, more gifted, that need like one-on-one education, because I can learn extremely fast when I'm learning something I like. Or that, hey, I can learn super fast when it's something that I'm interested in. So if I'm really excited and hyped about like rocket science, I can learn it in like a month. I can learn everything there is to learn. I'll just keep going nonstop and just keep absorbing. And I'll be able to spit it out with a photographic memory. But when I'm learning something that's boring to me, when somebody's teaching it to me and they're boring, I can't even absorb anything. It's like if I'm trying to read a piece, if somebody tells me I have to read this little piece of information and recite it back and it's boring to me, it's like it just washes over my brain. So that's how I was growing up. I suffered with that, and I did okay with grades. I got in the 70s. When I would try really hard, I can get mid 80s. I never really did that well, and I really did not enjoy school unless it was art or graphic design or something like that. As I got older and I got into middle school, I was very impulsive, started hanging out with the wrong crowd. I started hanging out with guys, and getting attention from guys made me feel good about myself. So I started doing things I shouldn't be doing as like a 13-year-old or whatever I was around that time. And my parents got worried about me, and people were talking crazy about ADD, saying, people would talk crazy and say, ADD, they're impulsive, they start to get into drugs and hooking up with boys and stuff, and the boys are crazy and they get in trouble in school and they beat people up. That's my friend Fallon back there, by the way. And I was open to going to see a psychiatrist and getting tested. My mom suggested that I fail the test on purpose because she wanted me to try the medication out. I'm pretty sure that the doctor had a feeling that I had ADD, but I purposely failed. And because I purposely failed, I would just to say what failing means. When you're doing these kind of tests, they give you tests to study your attention. You also get a form you have to fill out with information. So they ask you questions like, how do you do handling homework? How are you cleanliness-wise? How are you with dishes and stuff like that? And then your physical test is like with a computer. You have to click the mouse every time you see a dot pop up on the screen. So all I did was look away, and I just clicked the mouse a million times, and then I filled out and I doodled all over the page. I did whatever it took to fail. At the end of the test, the doctor said, your daughter's off the charts ADD. Probably one of the most ADD patients I've ever seen. And I was like, well, I failed it on purpose, but I knew I had some form of ADD. And I think that every single person can benefit from an amphetamine in some way. It's like a magic pill. So just because you do well on an amphetamine, by the way, doesn't mean that you need it. It just means we all can feel the euphoric results of excess dopamine in our synapses. Yeah, I'll get into that in just a little bit. So just to kind of go quickly through my story. After I got prescribed Adderall, well, fast forward, I went all the way through high school, taking like 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, and then when I was in college, I was taking like 15. Then I started partying, and then I started taking like 40 milligrams a day to 60 milligrams a day. And that's when I really screwed myself up. So the doctor advised against going cold turkey. At the time, I was like 102 pounds, and I was like having the time of my life. I had like no emotions. I was just like pure type A, aggressive, didn't care about anything, didn't care about anybody but myself, and I just was like a mover and shaker. Like I was very, very one type of person, and very extroverted, very different. And I was taking 60 milligrams of Adderall a day, and my health started to deteriorate, and my hair started to fall out.
Listening to this story.
My little story time, my little daughter. This is my daughter, Fallon. No, she's not my daughter. She's my friend. I'm not that old.
Where are we, which live stream are we on right now?
I'm on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Keep going.
So I was taking 60 milligrams. I gained like 60 pounds in one summer because I was eating so poorly. Even though I was on Adderall, where most people lose weight, I was like just eating to eat because I knew I had to. And once I'd started, I just didn't know when to stop. So I ate a lot and I didn't work out at all. I used to be on Stickum. I was really, really unhealthy and just toxic, and I didn't have like very good morals. I did things I shouldn't, like other drugs and stuff. And I did things that could have killed me. Like I used to drive after taking drugs and drinking when I go to the city, and drive home at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I remember falling asleep at the wheel and almost crashing into the side rail. Like so many times I could have died from bad decisions while I was on medication that was supposed to make me less impulsive. So I met my fiance, Keith, who's now my fiance. Back then, he was just a introduction for doing business, and I was very inspired by him. He was extremely healthy. He had a health magazine. And we just really hit it off because I was very into marketing and social media management and stuff like that. And we just basically hit it off and started working together. He knew how addicted I was to Adderall and always tried to kind of guide me away from it, but it wasn't working. Like, although I was able to bring my dosage back down to like 10 milligrams a day, he just knew that I was like heavily addicted, and just one day took it away. Like, out of nowhere. He basically took my container and said he flushed it down the toilet, and I started crying hysterically. And I said, how could you do that? I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to take me like a week before I can get another prescription, maybe even a month. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get another prescription. I just got this one. Tossed it out, and I started crying. I ran around the block, and I just was like, why is this my life? How am I going to survive? I don't want to be the person that I am without this medication. Which the only person I knew myself to be was this Adderall person. And the days that I didn't have Adderall, I was like a mummy. I was like dead. Like it felt like I had no personality, like I had no energy. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. So I was like, that's who I'm gonna have to be for the rest of my life. So I just sucked it up, and because we worked from home, it was a little easy for me to I guess, deal with the withdrawal symptoms and just detox. So I did a lot of sleeping, and I tried to adjust the way I handled meetings. So I used to be a very assertive person in meetings, and I'd get ideas on the spot. Like with the Adderall, my brain would like paint pictures really easily of what I knew people would need. Like if you're meeting with a client, like a brand client, I would be able to paint a picture very quickly of what they wanted. and I'd get it right every time. I would make the sale. And then without it, I had no thoughts. I was like dead inside.
We're coming in.
Are you guys live streaming?
Yes. So I learned to ask a lot of questions instead of talk a lot.
This is my friend Stephanie, by the way.
Hey! Oh my God, you're beautiful.
Maybe she can join your live stream. Here, join the live stream. Join the live stream. This is Stephanie, you guys. Where are you guys live streaming this from?
YouTube.
Oh my gosh,
We're
it's
doing a Q&A.
Whoa, look, everyone's writing. All right, yeah, Stephanie, get in the live stream. Get in the live stream. Hey everybody, welcome to, the party is here, yeah, everyone's chilling.
Hi.
So the three
The
girls
party
will,
is here.
yeah, just read out loud the comments. We'll talk in a second.
John, you should be the moderator.
I have to put it here because I don't have a tripod that can connect to this. But yeah, this is Fallon. This is Stephanie. I just met her. So we'll have to save. We're doing a Q&A on Adderall because I used to take it and I did a video about it. A lot of people were curious. So I was just kind of explaining to them about how to overcome addiction and symptoms and stuff like that, and to treat themselves naturally. Yeah, it's cool.
How do you overcome that?
I have a video
It
request.
took me a long time, but I was on medication for 10 years, and Keith basically just one day just flushed it down the toilet and was like, I need to overcome this.
I thought it said you're going cold turkey.
So,
Yeah.
Done.
And
Wait,
so
wait.
That's hard though.
It's really
I mean,
hard.
so your Adderall was mostly to
I was like, yo.
focus?
Yeah, get comfortable,
Is what
Stephanie.
It
someone
was to
said.
focus, yeah. My Adderall was to focus, and it was supposed to just help me get good grades in school and be able to concentrate. But for me, it was much more than that. Like for me, it was like it gave me like extra ego and confidence. Like it made me feel like I could do anything.
You got my email?
Like the guy in the movie Limitless, how he felt like he could do anything. That's
You
how
wanna
I
hang out
felt. So
here? You wanna talk
I think I
about
turned it into something very different than it was supposed to be
Wanna
used
talk
for,
business?
which
Is she
made it
included?
much harder for me to overcome the addiction. So when I got off of it, I had trouble concentrating. I had trouble handling business conversations. My talking is still like broken a little bit. Like I feel like I don't think as fast as I used to. But I think I just have had to over the years just get used to being who I am. And every year I get more comfortable with who I am, more confident in who I am, and that makes me feel similar to how I used to feel back in the day. It just takes time. So for the first year, every day I thought, I wish I had it, I wish I had it. The second year, it was like here and there, the voice got lower and lower. The third year, it was like I didn't even have that feeling anymore. I forgot what it was like. And I ate healthy for a long time. Anxiety, yeah.
Too much of a sweet last night. I swear to God, I'll fight me.
Yeah, I don't know. I
really would have.
I don't know, because I know my sister has taken Xanax before for anxiety, and I know it's worked well for her, but it's very numbing. That's all I could say, is that it helps her a lot, but it also, for her, it is like a drug, you know, it has like an effect on the way she speaks. You know, she talks different, slower, and it's like, it's there needs to be something that's a lot less potent than Xanax. Makes you zombie-like, yeah. And if you drink alcohol with it, it's like you start talking like this. It's like you don't know when to stop, and then you don't remember things. You black out. It's very scary stuff. I like weed. I don't smoke weed, but people that smoke weed for anxiety do really well.
Do you have dating advice regarding ADHD?
Dating advice for ADHD. I think people with ADHD are awesome and can do anything. So I think dating-wise, it should be easy. Like to find people, to connect to people, because you talk, you're confident. People with ADD like me, introverted, wanting to be in like a little box, not wanting to talk to people, not wanting to get out of my shell. I always have to make it a game, challenge myself. Like I'll go to events and I'll be like, who am I going to talk to today? What conversation am I going to create? Who am I going to let in my life that I would never have let in my life otherwise? Like I try to make it a game. Sometimes I live stream and introduce people to my camera and stuff, and I make it engaging, and I kind of make it fun for myself. Like I almost challenge myself to do it. I also try to see if I can get deals and stuff. I make it like a fun thing.
I mean, I think the best dating advice for anybody that has any kind of a disorder or disability is don't focus so much on what your restraints are or what's giving you, like, don't look at it as like a crutch. Look at it as like something that you can make into a strength.
You're right.
There's this guy, Justin or Josh, I forget what he's a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
He lost his leg at a very young age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I forgot his exact name, but he went up on a keynote at VidCon which was this big convention we just went to, and he was so funny with the way that he spoke about his leg and how, just putting it into real scenarios that he gets every single day, of like when he goes to the movies or when people, when he walks into a restaurant, and every little thing that he could have said could have been, saying about like all this negative, or like focusing on how like it stops him from doing this, but if you focus more on how it helps you to meet people,
Yeah.
or how it helps you to get up every morning and be like, yeah, because I have this, it's gonna make me want to, inspire other people to
Yeah.
want to go and learn how to ski or learn how to drive a car.
Yeah, you gotta like leverage it somehow.
Right.
And I feel like hyperactivity is like one of the coolest things in the world. I wish I had it. When I drink yerba mate, I feel hyperactive for a small period of time, and then I usually feel kind of calm energy. But I love the way that feels, and I love being able to talk to people and have energy when I talk to people and be able to think clearer. I feel like when you have like ADHD, you have like a superpower. It's like you have so much energy within you that if you could just, kind of learn how to manage it and harness it and not overthink it, but just use it to your advantage, you could do anything. Like I have friends that are very hyperactive, they're extremely hyperactive and friendly, and you could choose to not speak. Like say you're a very talkative person, you could choose to keep your mouth shut and kind of like learn how to manage it. Like wait, take pauses, take the time, take breaths, listen to what the other person's saying, and really think, before you speak. And then you could just, you could talk. Like you know how to engage with somebody, but now you're doing it a little bit more calculated. And now you're thinking, what kind of result do I want out of this conversation? When it comes to meeting a girl, do I want to take this girl out? If I go up to her and say the first thing that comes to mind, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I need to kind of like play around with a couple of different ideas first. Maybe after I start talking to her, instead of, jumping in with something new, maybe you listen and, just sit back a little bit.
Because what are like the problem? You said you need dating advice for people that have ADHD. I guess what my question back to that person is, what specifically are you having a problem with? Like, what do you feel your ADHD is
Like,
stopping or prohibiting you from doing that concerns dating?
Yeah, I'm curious too, because I feel like ADHD is like a gift. I do. I wish I had it.
Sometimes, yeah, it could make you very over energized.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could be all over the place with subjects and not, be focused on like exactly what on one thing, and therefore you're just like not really getting to know each other, and it's just like bubbles popping everywhere.
Yeah.
Like what I wanted to do.
Older men? Oh. What do you think about that? So, Sheepcake's looking to date older men, but feels like the ADHD makes them immature.
How so?
Orderly. Oh, okay.
Oh, like OCD? You feel like your ADHD makes you like OCD, or?
Sorry, I have trouble seeing them. If you were oral,
Yeah.
I'm like older. Sorry, was that my ADD?
I'm very distracted and disorganized.
Oh. Oh, but you can.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you could find somebody. Like people, sometimes people balance each other out, and you could get something from that person. Like, you're very structured and organized, and
Yeah.
Dalton is more artistic.
But I
and
totally
creative.
get what this person is saying.
Yeah.
I can be the messiest
You?
human being. Yes.
Even you being so structured.
Oh my God. I
Wow.
could be when it comes to my clothes, when it comes to my closet, when it comes to like doing laundry. Like I'm really like breaking it down.
Yeah.
My clothes are a mess.
I know. I've seen
You
them.
do not want to walk into my room. You will probably find like a dead animal somewhere hiding underneath a pile of clothes, and I never would have known that it was there. Like, Seriously, I am very, very unorganized. But getting back to how you could, work on that, I think that when it comes to ADHD, it is something that, it makes you unfocused. It's why they call it ADHD. I think that every single day you need to do something that'll work towards accomplishing that goal of like making yourself a little bit more organized, a little bit more clean.
Yes.
Just one little thing, whether it's like, every single day you end up taking the dirty laundry from the night before downstairs and just putting it downstairs and getting it clean before you head out in the morning. Or
You're so right.
Yeah.
In one of my videos when I was talking about like little life hacks to get rid of ADD, I said that having little tiny wins that keep you structured are really effective for the big things. So say you do want to do bigger things, like you want to...
Hold on, there's another...
Okay. What was that? I missed
Her
it.
parents don't know that she has ADHD yet.
Okay.
How do I get them involved? Personally, and I'll just chime in on here and then I'll let Paige here
Go
take
ahead.
over. I think that parents should always be involved. I don't think that you are someone, especially if you're young, I don't think that you alone could be the one to know what you have until like you go see a proper physician, and you also get third and fourth opinions from different doctors. And I feel like a lot of the time we will settle for medication because we don't want to believe that we can get rid of it in a natural, healthier way.
Well, doctors make money off of it.
Exactly.
Schools make money off of it.
Right. And so those doctors that will tell you like, oh, you have it, I'm going to prescribe you this, yada, yada, yada. A lot of the time, like, they're just looking to make a buck on it.
Wait, I want to just answer that question. How do you feel about people who say ADHD isn't real? I feel like indifferent about it because it's like, I feel like ADHD is a real thing, but I don't feel like it's cured with amphetamine medication. I feel that they created a disease based on people's symptoms of lacking of attention in some capacity, whether it's tired lack of attention or it's hyper lack of attention.
22 parents are Pakistani.
And I feel like when you take medications, I feel like when people take Adderall, even if somebody who's never even had a symptom of anything before takes it, they feel better on it. And when you feel kind of bad, whether it's like how I used to feel, like exhausted and lethargic and unable to focus, and you take Adderall, you feel like a superhero. If you're hyperactive and having trouble focusing, you feel like a superhero because you're a calmed version of your hyper self, and now you're like just a super smart person that's really able to focus well. So it makes us like superheroes. It's obviously doing something, but I don't think that the illness is what people think. I think that state of mind that we get to, where we feel either a lack of attention in the tired way or the energetic way, I think that that's caused by all different things. Like I think that you can get ADD from food allergies. You can get it like from gluten intolerance. I think you can get it from being dyslexic. Like there's so many different other things that cause the same. We're all being lumped into one category is what I'm saying, and all being given the same damn medication. And I think that the medication is getting out of control.
Have you guys ever, I mean, this is just the perfect analogy right now. Many people, they end up drinking coffee in the morning. Have any of you ever, just stopped suddenly just drinking coffee, and then like you wake up every day and you have like those headaches?
Yeah.
And
That's coffee.
That's coffee. That's caffeine.
That's crazy, right?
Coffee is a very, 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 just
It's addictive.
very, very, well, it's addictive, but it's like, it's a form of Adderall in like this,
Yeah.
its smallest form.
Because it boosts your dopamine levels in your brain.
Yes.
Same with cigarettes. These things that boost your dopamine levels make us addicted, so then they sometimes put things in it elsewhere. Otherwise, like you'll put in nicotine and other things that lead to addiction, but the dopamine is what we're feeding. We're feeding that boost we get.
Yeah.
So with like drinks like this even, I'm getting a rush of adrenaline and dopamine when I drink this, and those things make me feel good. Like I feel great when I have those feelings. It makes me feel like, more powerful of a person. So I enjoy that. So then when I don't have that thing, the next day it's like I get headaches, I get I feel lethargic. I feel like I want to sleep, and then I'm in my head thinking, oh, when am I going to get my coffee? When am I going to get my tea? You know, it's bad. It's like you can easily become addicted to such simple things. And then you take this and you think this is just a tea. To most of us, we think that coffee's like nothing. It's like, oh, you have a problem with coffee? Well, what's the big deal? But it is a big deal. And the next level is like Adderall.
That's cute. I don't think the coffee I drink is. Well, listen, I mean, I said again, like, this is just it makes you lose weight. I don't drink coffee, I drink green tea. It works. Oh, yeah, I mean, green tea is much healthier for you.
Poker burgers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Predictable gamer, hey. Anthony, hi. This is Fallon. I think, Anthony, you're what's it called? Aren't you a photographer?
Oh, a photographer.
Yeah, we got a model right here. Does changing your diet halt the symptoms significantly? Oh, freaking yeah. So wait, let me just say this.
Go for it. I'm gonna eat food.
I'm gonna step on the soapbox for 1 sec. Oh, did I? Is that stove still on?
I turned it off.
Okay, good, thanks. ADD, just kidding. No, I'm enjoying the live stream. Yeah, diet has significantly reduced my symptoms. But when I don't follow what I'm supposed to with my diet and my lifestyle, I get my symptoms back. So I know what messes with me, and I can't try to be like everybody else and do those things. And that's eating bread, something simple as that, having sugary cereals, having processed foods, drinking alcohol, even smoking weed. Those things don't sit well with me. And I might enjoy it for a small period of time, but I get so many issues from it. So I get so many issues from even just having something like Lucky Charms. Did I ever tell you guys my Lucky Charms story? I'll say it real quick. So I grew up eating Lucky Charms every freaking morning. So I woke up in the morning and I would have a huge bowl. I'm talking like a bowl that's made up of 3 serving sizes of Lucky Charms. I would drink a cup of milk and I would go to school. By the time I got to school, I had like heart palpitations for a little bit and then I was like dead. And I would start falling asleep in my classes. I felt like I couldn't really concentrate on what the teacher was saying. I used to feel like crap. And I thought all those years, maybe that's my ADD. For lunch, I ate whatever I was given, sandwiches, pizza, french fries, whatever it was, Subway. I remember always hating these things, but I still ate it anyway. And I always felt really crappy after I would eat stuff like that. But I just assumed that maybe something's different with me. I don't know. I didn't never think I had intolerance. So when I started to eat clean, when I went off Adderall, and I was just trying to figure out how to be as like not fatigued as possible, I stopped having red meat, I stopped having heavy carbs, I stopped having chicken, all that kind of stuff, and I felt really good. And one day I'm sitting in the back of my boyfriend's dad's car. He's in the front seat, they're talking. He gives me a box of Lucky Charms and goes, hey, you should have some of these. Don't you love Lucky Charms? I was like, yeah, I used to eat that all the time. And I start eating this box of Lucky Charms. And like 10 minutes in of snacking on these Lucky Charms, I start feeling like I'm gonna die. Like I felt like I couldn't even concentrate on what they were saying. I felt like my brain was off from eating the freaking Lucky Charms. Like I was feeling like I was on a delay. Like as they were speaking, I was like having to take time to absorb it and then think of what I was gonna say. It was like I felt like my brain was in a fuzz. And then I thought, wow, all those years I had freaking Lucky Charms every day and I ate gluten and I had processed foods every day. That could have been what caused my symptoms. So the more I stay away from foods like that, the better I feel. If I start eating processed vegan food even, I don't feel well. And I get irritable bowel syndrome. I had irritable bowel for like 3 months where I was just not even getting nutrients from the food I was eating because I spent like an entire month eating like vegan nachos like multiple times a day, drinking too much caffeine on an empty stomach. Stuff like that really messes me up, so I have to eat very clean. ASMR. Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm sorry if I'm the opposite, by the way, of ASMR. I talk extremely fast and, very aggressively. So, just wanted to get that out there.
Is there a name for this live stream?
Yeah, it's like an Adderall, like Q&A, I think. I forgot what I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Only eat Lucky Charms. Yeah, the charms.
So have any of you ever like experienced
Paleo's good.
just like experimenting with Adderall and not having ADD at all? Because for me, I have been like, especially when I was in high school, I remember people just like using it for losing weight or because they love that adrenaline rush or like they used it to work out or study
for finals.
or even some people use it, believe it or not, like for sex. Like it's true because it gets your
endorphins going.
Exactly. And for me, like every single time I would see my friends,
Wow.
their personalities were affected by it, and even some people, like they would go from very high to like very, very low once they just like stopped taking it. And I'm talking about like people that did not require and need this stuff. It's amazing how this one tiny little drug can affect your entire human being, like your personality, your traits just become monstrous.
It's so strong. I think it's almost more strong and dangerous in some ways than like ecstasy and cocaine, because what this actually has is a MAO inhibitor, which like we have something called like the blood-brain barrier that has like this guard like protecting it, and the MAO inhibitor like stops the blood-brain barrier for protecting, so like that the Adderall can come through and take effect and start like flooding your brain with dopamine and keeping the synapse open. So it's kind of like allowing it to do its job, but its job is really a job that's not supposed to happen in nature. Like you're not supposed to have that guard be blocked, and so that the stuff can just come in and basically do whatever the hell it wants to your brain. So with cocaine and stuff like that, maybe it floods you with dopamine, but comes out. This holds your synapses open so that dopamine just stays active, and neurophilin and stuff like that. So it's not natural, which means it's like it's just really bad. Yeah, so that's it. That's my soapbox. Yeah, so there's nothing you're gonna find like in nature, but the only thing you can do is try to train your body to keep your synapses held open longer and keep yourself flooded with dopamine naturally by just keeping, I guess, yourself having a good time. It's like if we're going on a theme park and we're going on different rides, you keep going up. Every time you go on a ride, you're having a rush. Next ride, you're on a rush. Maybe you get some good news, you're on a rush. Maybe you go home and eat something you love, you're on a rush. You go watch your favorite show, you're getting more dopamine. So you just got to keep your dopamine levels elevated. And that'll help train your body to keep those synapses held open longer, keep dopamine in there longer. I also think staying accountable, like she was saying, is really a great tip. And even the little things, like making sure you do your laundry every day, or keeping your room clean, or keeping your clothes folded. Like there's little things that you could do that declutter your environment and help declutter your mind, and also make you feel like you have small wins. And those little wins are healthy for your brain because you feel rewarded. It's like your brain has this thing called the reward system.
Healthy eating, I don't think that healthy eating is expensive.
Yeah.
Healthy eating is very easy.
Cheaper to grow plants than kill animals.
Yeah. Oh, I shop at Trader Joe's, and when I shop at Trader Joe's, my groceries are only like $120 a week for both me and Keith. So that's like $60 a head, and Keith eats a lot. Keith eats like 3,000 calories a day, maybe 4. So that's a lot of food. We eat a lot of beans, a lot of nuts, a lot of seeds, and tons of vegetables. Yeah, vegan chicken is definitely cheaper. I think if you shop at Trader Joe's and you buy, not Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and you buy a lot of prepackaged foods, then yeah, no need to be in a rush. Take it day by day. I think that, weight gain is definitely possible. But yeah, Trader Joe's is where it's at. When I was on Adderall, I gained 60 pounds. Try that. When I went off of it, I was so afraid I was going to gain like so much weight. But I think that the detoxing and eating clean helped me maintain like a healthy weight. And I just had to be really like on top of a schedule. I tried isogenics, which is like a nutritional cleanse. It's like a whole system where you have like shake for breakfast, a little tiny snack, then you have like, like a little shot of this drink, and then lunch you have a meal, and then for dinner you have shake. It's like this little system that you do throughout the day that basically eating like 800 calories. It's very low calorie, but it really helped me get like, what's the word? Like hold myself accountable and learn how to like resist like wanting to eat all day long, which I always did want to do. So I feel like I could train myself, or I can shrink my stomach, and then I could train myself to, be diligent, about not overeating. And going on a cleanse really helped me do that. And it also made me realize just how focused I feel when I'm not eating. Like having ADD makes you feel like when you're bored you want to eat, which sucks. But when you don't actually feed that craving, I feel like you get more energy. Like when I do eat, it makes me feel a little lethargic after. So I try to think about that. All right, so guys, I'm gonna save the rest of the Q&A for next time. I'm gonna get going. I got a shower and we're going out. So guys, save some questions for next time, or you can leave it in a comment below. And I'm gonna do another live stream this week about this topic, and I'm gonna try to do it a little bit more structured myself. So I'll try to write the questions I get in emails. I'm gonna try to write them all down next time. I'll definitely do a meal plan video for ADD and ADHD. I think I have some really good ones because Keith would be considered more like an ADHD type of person and I'm like an ADD type of person. So we have different diets that work well for us. Like I like eating, I like a lower calorie, more clean diet that's mostly vegetable and fruit based. And Keith likes a diet that's pretty like heavy calories and foods that take longer to digest. That makes him feel good and makes him feel like more at peace and calmer and easier to focus. So I love you guys, and you guys are the best. I'm really glad that you guys came in here. I really appreciate it, and it was a great conversation. I appreciate that you guys share your lives with me and that you shared with me and Fallon what you guys are going through and asked us questions. We've both known lots of people who have taken that medication, and Fallon knows me, so she knows what I've been through and stuff. So, yeah, thanks for coming, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm finished now. I'll see you guys later.